Look, Harley made a great motorcycle, but unfortunately, they don't know how to work with the California emissions regulations. So I'm gonna show you a video of what happens if you just ride the bike stock in the winter.
What the?
Why is this an issue on the brand new Harley Davidsons? Number one is because they use this air intake. Now, there's nothing wrong with this air intake, but check this out. This is the transmission vent line, the breather, and it goes right into the intake, directly into the engine. And now we're gonna compare Kawasaki. Did this the right way. They added the transmission vent line down here, and it's right there. It's at the bottom, but you see, this is where the air's coming in. So all the oil stays down here, and if you ever experience blow by in your Kawasaki, it'll just overflow with oil down here. It won't go into your intake, which is up here. So they solved the issue with gravity. Gravity is on your side. It'll pull liquids down and fumes will go up. Whereas Harley decided to have just everything go in from the top, and gravity will bring it down there. This is your stock transmission vent line. Even though it's called a transmission vent line, it also brings fumes from the crankcase. And it's all connected through this very beautiful cover, ignore this mess, down here. Now, Harley knows this is an issue. If we look into the manual, let's look at page 131. Water vapor is a normal byproduct of combustion. During cold weather operation, some water vapor condenses to liquid form on cool surface inside the engine. In freezing weather, this water becomes slush or ice. If the engine is not warm to operating temperature, accumulated slush or ice blocks the oil lines and causes engine damage. Over time, water will accumulate, mix with engine oil and form a slush that is harmful to the engine. You take this to the dealer, they're gonna say, just run it and you'll evaporate the water. But it's not a good lesson. Basically, you need to add an oil catch can. So if you want to solve this problem, you take the stock transmission line, you cut it here, you add an oil catch can that I found on eBay that has a little tiny filter, and then you buy a new line and you run it through. Ignore that, that's actually because I'm just using an adapter. Back to your original, and you will fix the problem. That's it. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Just kidding, that's not the end of the video. You probably want to know why this works. Basically, you're going to have to read the service manual. So, in the service manual, page 49. And here we have a beautiful picture of the breather operation. So, there's a breather assembly mounted at the top of the transmission housing to prevent buildup of pressure. And basically, if you look at the picture here, this is very similar to the aftermarket solutions where they have a little vent hose and it goes directly into your intake. That's the line I was talking about. And in here, you have baffles. It's supposed to prevent oil from climbing up, and it stops the oil, but you still get a little bit of oil slipping through. You also have a little umbrella valve down there. If that fills up with water, it'll close it shut and basically build up a ton of water and spew it out through here. That's actually pretty normal. If you want a good picture of this, I will post it below. But we need to know where this goes. So, page 428. 428. Let's get a better look of this. See, that is the transmission vent line. That is the 3/8 line. And it basically has the inside. And that's just a regular hole. It's not a valve. It just goes straight through. And basically that's it. It's a very simple thing that goes straight to your intake. Now if we go to page 6-7, the air filter housing, and basically that's where everything ends up. All that junk from your engine will end up in there. So you could vent this to atmosphere, because if we run the motorcycle, you're going to see that there's going to be 2 pounds of pressure. And we're going to test it right now. So let's see how much pressure it builds. And we're going to see how much, when I turn on the motorcycle, how much it's pushing out. And then we're going to install the intake, and we're going to see how much negative pressure it's pulling back in, so we can see if it's actually worth routing to your intake or just venting to atmosphere. Little bit of PSI. So that's almost 1, and if you remove it, you'll actually feel some of the suction and the RPMs will drop. And then you can actually feel the air coming out of here. So there's a little bit of pressure. It's almost 1 pound per square inch. So it's very little that it needs to push out. So basically very little air pressure is coming out of here. So basically air is going this way and all the fumes will collect in this little area here. But because there's so little pressure coming from here, you might think, well, do I need the pull from the air intake? So we're gonna test that right now. As we confirmed, we almost reached 1 pound per square inch. So we're gonna test to see how much that pulls, and we add it together and we'll see if that actually makes a difference. Or you can just vent to atmosphere like this and you'll be fine. Like 2 hours later. I should probably use my wrenches. I think I will. There's like a little bolt that's hidden down here, that's why it's hard. Okay, so the air intake has been installed. Let's see how much vacuum we're getting from just the air intake. So this is directly connected to that little tube up top. As you can see, that's like exactly the same. That's nothing. So the air intake isn't really doing much pulling. I mean, it's a little bit. Let's see it if it changes, if I rev it. And if I turn it off, did it move? All right, so in that case, it's almost nothing. So basically, the suction from the air isn't really doing much, so you can vent this to atmosphere, which means you're not gonna break anything. But if you wanna keep it stock, go ahead and vent that back. And that's what we're gonna do. Test. It only allows air to go in one way and opens at a certain pressure, meaning that it didn't do anything. If we remove it and run the test again, we should see the same results. Let's find out. Nothing. We remove it. Literally nothing. Some people are asking, why do this test if it's pointless? The point is, you don't need to vent this into your intake. You can just vent this to atmosphere and you can just plug this up. You don't even need this hose. But I'm gonna put it back to stock so that way I can at least keep my warranty.